Dear Spirit of Life, hear my prayer. I remain grateful for the Chicago Cubs' 2016 World Series victory. I am deeply grateful for chocolate. I'd like to thank you for your work in the 2022 election, although I still have some issues that we need to discuss. I too am grateful for so much love in my life, for such meaningful work, for shelter, food, resources beyond what so many have. For these and for so many other things, I say thank you and amen. Now, that was just one version of a prayer of gratitude. I feel so blessed that there could be many more versions in my life. Being agnostic, I'm never sure if these prayers go anywhere specific, but I'm sure that by thinking them and saying them, I'm at least practicing a form of gratitude. For the past 11 years, I've been practicing 30 days of gratitude every November, where I share gratitude quotes and personal gratitudes almost every day on social media. I have found the practice has helped me to reflect on the incredible abundance I have in my life and how connected I am with so many things that serve to fill my life with meaning. Now, if you've been paying attention to what I've said so far, although it is a practice of gratitude, it was a gratitude all about me, my life, things for which I am grateful. For years, I have basically preached a similar sermon on Thanksgiving Sunday, that gratitude was a practice, not just a prayer, which is the title of today's sermon. And still, I think that's a true statement. But what I've come to realize is that there are actually not just two stages, practice and prayer. There are three stages in the practice of gratitude. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. So, stage 1 is an occasional prayer of gratitude, like I started with today. Whether you believe you are praying to something or nothing at all, constructing an occasional prayer of gratitude can help us remain thankful for the things that fill our lives with love and hope and joy, or many other things that bring meaning into our lives. It's important to be intentional about the occasional prayer of gratitude because it helps us understand that we move through this world in an interconnected way, where there's so much of what enriches us that is a product of love and talent and effort of others. And they deserve some occasional expression of gratitude, whether directly or even though through a prayer, whether directly or even though through a prayer. Stage 2 is when gratitude is perhaps more intentional, more frequent in what it is included in a religious or spiritual practice, where it is still wonderful to quietly give thanks, but to also take action. A colleague of ours says that gratitude is the primary spiritual practice of Unitarian Universalism. But I preached on that 2 years ago, so I thought I wouldn't preach about that today. How important it is to recognize the things for which we are truly grateful, and then how good for our own growth in our souls to express this actively in ways that demonstrate our gratitude for the people and the things for which you are grateful. It opens our hearts. It can generate a sense of necessary humility. It can be a true expression of our interdependence. These are all wonderful parts of a practice of gratitude. I have at one time or another, in one way or another, said all these things before, but I've been reflecting on gratitude this week, and today I am adding a stage 3. Thank you for looking interested. I'm grateful for that. Stage 3 gratitude is rooted in this quote by the poet Wendell Berry. We have lived our lives by the assumption that what was good for us would be good for the world. We have been wrong. We must change our lives so that it will be possible to live by the contrary assumption that what is good for the world will be good for us. And that requires that we make the effort to know the world and learn what is good for it. Stage 3 is the radical notion that we move beyond ourselves as the center of our universe. I know, I get it. I like being the center of my universe. But being the center of our own universe can fill us with a false narrative of gratitude, that we are grateful for things that serve us and that may not serve others or the world. I struggle with this every time the lotto goes high enough for me to buy a ticket. If I won, for instance, I saw some knowing looks in the crowd. If I won, for instance, I know I would be grateful. But for what would I be most grateful? Would it be the ability to buy Cubs season tickets? Would it be that I could have a personal chef? That I could buy a better Prius? Although I really like my Prius the way it is. Now, I admit that that would be nice. And I'm sure that I would both offer prayers of gratitude, and I'd be happy to do 30 days of gratitude still as a practice. And in a self-centered way, day 1 would be gratitude for those Cubs season tickets. And day 2 might be gratitude, depending on how much money I win, for the private Springsteen concert that I had that weekend. You get the idea. What these lotto gratitudes exclude is this thought that what is good for the world will be good for me. And as much as we think we are, or sometimes would like to be, we are not separate from needing to reflect on how we live, what is good for us, and what it means to be what is good for the world we wish to see. A true practice of Unitarian Universalist gratitude may need to take into account the people and things that we truly think are doing what is good for the world. That's what the postcards were all about today. An opportunity for us to move beyond ourselves and express thanks for those who are helping the world in a way that we hope it could be. Listen, the holidays are complicated. And for us to think about gratitude this Thanksgiving is interesting in part because there are times over the past couple of years where I have been grateful that many of us have just been willing to get out from under the covers and come to a Thanksgiving dinner. But the practice of gratitude is both good for our souls and good for the world. A Unitarian Universalist practice of gratitude calls on us to make the effort to know what is good for the world and to learn what is good for it. And moving beyond our personal gratitude can be the spiritual growth practice of it all. An effort to seek knowledge and enlightenment beyond what we already know. The move beyond our understandable thoughts of being the center of our universe. Being grateful for the chance to explore. Being grateful for the space to learn. Being grateful for the opportunity to move beyond. Being grateful for the ability to change. To change. So as we depart for our Thanksgiving holidays after today's service this week, as we acknowledge the complicated history of the holiday itself, as we find our way into our families of origin or our families of choice, as we contemplate the struggles and blessings of our lives, whether stage 1, stage 2, or stage 3, I will hope that you can find things for which to be grateful. I will hope that you will find a prayer of gratitude that fills your heart. Maybe an action that you can express. Maybe a personal gratitude and possibly an expression of gratitude that more broadly supports the practice of gratitude for the world. For this and for so much more, may we be truly grateful. Amen. And may that be so.